loves. Welcome to my smut den. Again, hello, I'm Ryan. This is Ryan's Reading Corner. The first time you see my face, if you not yet hit the subscribe button, please do so. It's super easy and really helps my channel grow. And we are starting a new vlog because it's time for another round of 72 hours in the smut den. If you're super confused on what I'm talking about, 72 hours in the smut den was created last year by the Late Night Crew, which is myself, Mel, and Cassidy. And pretty much we use two spinners represent dark and light. So like your light, fluffy rom-com romances and your dark romances, your fantasy romance. And we read them for 72 hours, and the only stipulation is that you have to have smut in them. So we've been asked to bring back another round. We just did 72 hours in the haunted house not that long ago, but we are back in the smut den. I'm super excited. Yes, I'm looking like a hot mess, but we're gonna just go with it because that is my life in definition. But for my plans for the next 72 hours, I plan on reading mostly from the dark romance wheel. I don't think I'm gonna dabble in the light wheel this time. I'm really feeling my dark romance, fantasy romance era, so I'm super excited. I just love doing this. So we do have two special co-hosts with us this time around. We have Michelle from Michelle's Library and Bree from Four Paws in a Book, so make sure you go subscribe to every one of them. I'm pretty sure we're all putting out vlogs, so definitely you're gonna want to go check out their crazy adventures. I'm sure this weekend is gonna be pure chaos. So let's see how this weekend goes. Stay tuned and let's go to my first spin to see what book I will be reading for this first 72 hours. Oh no, here we go. Okay, it's working now. Okay. All right. Let's do my first spin. This is so much pressure. I really can't cheat either. Oh. What is it?
Flowers on the cover. I thought it was gonna be shirtless man though.
I was hoping for how ironic would that be? I get a shirtless man when I'm at school. Hello, it is time for my first official check-in for the readathon. So I'm super excited. I cannot wait. We're actually here. It's 10 o'clock at night. I'm super tired, which is why I look like a hot mess. I worked late today at work. I didn't get home till almost 7, so I'm really tired, but I am doing a lot of work tonight. So I am listening to an audiobook, and again, if you saw the clip earlier, I spun the dark wheel and I got flowers on the cover. So I picked this random book off script. I can't think of the title of it, but I'm gonna put the picture here. And this is a dark romance that has to do with a serial killer that is being utilized by the woman who put him in a institute for the criminally insane to help solve a new crime. So he is helping her, and that's all I really got right now. The description of some of the crime scenes have been pretty gruesome, which I am digging, and I like criminal serial killer romances, so I'm excited to see kind of where this goes. It does deal a lot with like philosophies, so definitely go forewarning into that. That's something you don't like, that does rely kind of heavily on it. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep working. I have a lot of work to do, but I did want to check in. I have about an hour and like 40 minutes maybe left in it, so I'll probably do a spin before I go to bed tonight so that I can pick a book and be ready for tomorrow. So I'll check in later. All right, we are doing spin number 2, so I have something ready for tomorrow. Bree, let's see what I'm reading. Dark romance, and I'm gonna be doing what?
Oh, wild.
Yay! Okay. That's so exciting. Okay, thank you. Everyone say hi. Everyone will be on the vlog now for this point. Special check-in of a completed book. I finished Lovely Bad Things today on my way home from work. I just got home like half hour, 45 minutes ago, so I did hop on Sprint, picked up some Dunkin' so I can have some caffeine, and yes, so here we are. I just ran through Cowpile. It came out at 3 stars, which is better than I thought it was gonna be last night. This is a super dark, smutty romance, so if you are not a super smutty reader, or if you've not dabbled in dark romance before, I don't know if I would suggest starting with this one because it's pretty dark, but it was done well, I think, in that aspect. There are parts of the plot line that I enjoyed more versus others, but I am a lover of serial killer romances. But I think part of my problem too is also that I'm always comparing everything to Sophie Larth, There Are No Saints, because that is one of my favorite dark romances of all time. Sorry if you hear Beckham eating, feeding him a bottle. So I feel like I'm always going to hold my killer serial killer romances up to that standard, which is not fair to the other authors, which I do realize. So, but I did enjoy it. It is a series. I would be interested in continuing on because it does leave on a cliffhanger. So I'm pretty excited for that. And then my next spin, I would have already have put that clip in. We did it last night before I hopped off sprints around 11:30. Was Wild Card, which is super easy, so I can really read anything for this prompt. And I'm gonna go with a book that I was not on my radar for this weekend, and it is because it's longer, but it's Bewitched, and it's by Lauren Thalassa, which is a new fantasy romance, and I'm going to be buddy reading it with Mel. So I'm super excited for that one. We have a 3-star read, not too bad, but I really want to get some 5-star reads, and I have hope that this one could be. I don't know too much about it. It just was fantasy romance, and then in my fantasy romance era. So I will check in when I've got maybe like 25% into it. It is 10:10, still Friday, and last time I did a check-in, was just starting Bewitched by Lauren Thalassa. This is a book, obviously it's a book, I'm tired if you can't tell. This is about a girl named Celine who really wants to be accepted into this witch coven, but she has some things that are keeping her back from getting into it, and she has to go to South America where she becomes in a plane crash that is being brought down by supernatural forces. And I'm trying to see because I don't want to spoil anything about what it says, but pretty much she awakens this ancient evil guy. I don't really know. The beginning started off really good. I really enjoyed the magic system that was being explained. However, it's been dragging for me since then. I'm about on page 80 something. Mala's pretty much way ahead of me just because I had to stop reading for a little bit, and she said honestly it's gonna be about a 3 stars for me. It doesn't really pick up that much, so I just don't have time right now to be reading slow books. So I do want to come back to this, but I'm going to save it for another time. So we're gonna pause this. So I did do another respin, so we're going to go to Pass Rye, and we're gonna go watch and see what my preps are. All right, here we go for my 3rd spin. Let's go.
Red font.
Oh, no. I'm gonna do a respin. I'm gonna do a respin on this. I'm using a respin.
Okay. Good choice.
So I don't want to read the Mind F series.
No. Black.
Okay, I can do that. That's easy. Okay. Thank you. All right, so again, I'm sticking to the dark wheel, and so the first spin was a book with red words or red font, and so I wanted to respin. I thought that was going to be really specific, too narrowed, so down, and so then I respinned and I got dark cover, which is super easy. So I was thinking about, is it No Beating by Jennifer Hartman, something along those lines. I can't think of the first word before beating. And then there's this other book that I had found on Scribd as an audiobook, but they also have it on physical. It's about this girl whose parents passed away, and her brother's best friend helped her get through it, and now she's, I think, maybe end almost college, and I think they're gonna like hook up or something. I don't know. It's a novella, so I'm gonna pick between Still Beating, that's what's called, Still Beating, or this one, but I will check in a little bit to let you know which one I've decided and an update on what I think about the book. Hi, I'm outside, so if you hear nature, I apologize, but it is 12:35 on Saturday, and I just finished part 1 of Still Beating. That's what I decided to go with, and oh my gosh, I have never read such an intense, graphic, heartbreaking story ever, like out of any genre. I feel exhausted and emotionally drained from reading what I just read. I will say though, I feel weird saying it was done well, but like it was, I mean, it evoked emotion. So to me, that is a win for this author. It is just so graphic, so explicit. So definitely really please be careful going into this book before you start reading it, because it is really, really intense. Our main characters, basically what it is that they are friends. They've known each other since high school, and Dean, our main male character, is engaged to Cora's sister, and they kind of have this feud that's been going on, Dean and Cora, since they've been younger, and it's kind of continued into adulthood and they don't really like each other, but something happens and they become victims together by this awful man. And that's what basically part one is all surrounding. I absolutely love Dean's character. He might be one of my favorite characters that I've read like in a quote unquote this romance book in a while so far, but that part one was so intense and I don't even really know what to make of it. But I am going to be moving into part two, and it looks like, if I'm looking at my Kindle, this might be a, what's what I'm looking for, dual point of view now. So I think we're going to maybe get Dean and maybe Cora's point of view, which will be interesting. But yeah, it's insane. But I'm really glad I switched to this. So I'm at 31%. We are on sprints right now. We're on Mel's channel. So I'm going to be sprinting, and then I will be hosting sprints tonight. Hopefully I can shower, work outside. It's absolutely gorgeous outside. Beckham's sleeping, and we're just enjoying the sun. So I'll check in probably when part two is over. Is outside, so we're just gonna go with it. But I want to check in because I officially finished part two, and I cannot say enough about this book. It's just so intense and it is heartbreaking, and you just feel for these characters in here. And like, this whole section was from Dean's point of view, and it was heartbreaking being in his head and him experiencing the aftermath of some of the trauma that he has experienced. And I would not be surprised if this is one of my favorite books of the year, on the top 10. I just feel so connected and invested in these characters. So the PTSD rep is done super well in here, and it's just, I mean, there's smut, and it's good. Like, it is really good. So moving into part three, which is called Waves, and this is all gonna be from Cora's perspective. So I'm interested to see kind of how this is all gonna play out and getting into her point of view. And there's not much left of the story. I'm at, what percentage am I at? So I don't have much. I'm at 66%. So I'm guessing her perspective will probably be the last one, but a big chunk of it was taken up by Dean's point of view, which I don't mind because I really like him. And the lighting, I'm gonna brighten up my computer brightness, so that helps. So all right, so I'm gonna go. I'll check in. Hopefully I have better lighting at that moment in time, and I will see you all later.
Oh, it's just a crush.
Hello. Good morning. I look like a hot mess. Don't mind me. But it's Sunday. I'm just kind of doing some cleaning up, tidying. These are all books. Oh, way. Books I have to bring downstairs, pile. So, I did want to check in because I did finish Still Beating yesterday. I didn't vlog it. I was kind of just in a comfy position, and I absolutely loved it. It was an easy 5 stars. This book is so much more than like that romance label. It deals with trauma, and the first part is just so intense. It was one of the most intense books I've ever read, and I have trouble recommending this book because it is so many triggers. But if it's something that you look into, I would definitely read this book. 5 stars. Cannot wait to read everything else by this author. So we did do another spin last night, so we're gonna go put in Past Right, and we're gonna go look at what I got for my spinner. Spin number 4 for book number 3. Okay, go.
Oh no. Red font.
I'm using this is my second spin, like second redo, so I'm gonna redo it again.
What one is that?
Right, ready?
Yep. I don't want red font.
I'm gonna make it 60.
One word title?
Alright, we're gonna go with it.
25.
We're gonna go with it. Okay, so I did do my second redo spin. Red font on the cover. There was just nothing I really wanted to read, so I got one word title. So I picked Anton by Sophie Lark, which is part of, I think it's book 5 of the Underworld series. And this is a mafia romance. This is a kidnapping one, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not loving it. I am 50% in, and the Goodreads reviews are kind of the same. I would say it's one of the lower rating Sophie Lark books that I have have seen. It's like a 3.8 or 3.7. I just don't like the writing. I feel like it's not the Sophie Lark writing that I have known to love. I've read tons and tons of Sophie Lark, and I'm not digging it, and it makes me really, really sad. And yes, it is a sock monkey on my fridge. It's kind of flat for me. Like, I'm not feeling very connected to the characters, and I'm really, really bummed. So I'm about 53-54% in this one. It's not too long, so I'm hoping to finish it and try to get one more spin in for 72 hours, but this one is kind of falling flat, and I don't know if it's just because I just finished Still Beating and I loved that so much, but I hopefully look more presentable next time I see you all. But yeah, I will see you. Saw you all that I would look more presentable, but that didn't happen because I'm filming this on Monday and I've been outside all day. Disgusting. So, but we're gonna do a wrap up. So the last time I talked to all you, I was reading Anton by Sophie Lark, and unfortunately I only got to 70% of that, and I decided to stop reading it because I was bored, and that really hurts my soul to say that, but I wasn't feeling it, and I just thought it just was kind of strange to me. Like, so this girl gets kidnapped and she's not the reaction that I feel like most 99.9% of people would have. She didn't have it, and she just was kind of like went on thinking, like acting like nothing big was happening after her whole life has been pretty much upheavaled and all these other things that happen. And it just was so strange to me that it really kind of threw me out of the plot, and it wasn't vibing for me. So I read, I think I'm almost like 77. I was close to over halfway through with the book. I don't need that one to read the Kingsmaker series, so I am going to just stop it right there. Maybe I'll pick it up if I'm looking for a KU to finish it. However, it's a romance. I know it's how it's gonna end. It wasn't for me. But yeah, so overall, this reading experience in 72 hours, I had some really high highs and then some lows, unfortunately. And a 3-star, so one that was right in the middle. But I did read a total of 924 pages in 72 hours, which is crazy. I was so close to 1,000. So if I read more in Bewitched or Anton, I would have hit that 1,000 mark, and I'm really sad about it. But I had so much fun. Thank you for everyone that joined. Make sure you check out everyone's vlogs. I will have all the different hosts down listed in the description box. So yeah, this has been fun. Let me know if you participated and what your favorite book was. Definitely Still Beating was mine. It is a new favorite book. It'll be on my top list of the year. I literally still can't stop thinking about it. But if you want to do this crazy and character with me, please make sure you press the subscribe button. If you're my friend on any of my other social media platforms, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And I also do have my own Patreon. All the information is linked down below. Stay kind. I'll see you next time. Bye.